My name is Lauretta Ofulue. I work as a health visitor, and I'm currently doing my dissertation for my master's in public health. Most people don't know about learning disability nursing, but I knew about learning disability nursing because I was a parent of a child who had additional needs and learning disabilities. He had severe autism. I was struggling to communicate with professionals about his needs and how he was presenting. And in my frustration, as I walked down the corridor of the hospital, I saw a poster where Jim's face was there as the learning disability nurse for the whole hospital. And it did say, if you're struggling to communicate the needs of your child, then contact me. And that's exactly what I did. What Jim did was to bring new assessment tools for his pain that were tailored to really cause him to have high scores for pain and then enable them to give him the level of pain relief that he needed. So it is very difficult when you lose somebody, especially your child. And after he passed away, Otito, I decided to become a learning disability nurse. It was a way for me to manage my grief as well, because it all had to mean something in the end. And I felt like giving back because I'd had all this excellent care from several professionals. And the most striking was the one from the learning disability nurse because of how he was able to give us that tailored support and give us a voice really for our son. So that was the reason why I decided to go back again to university and start from scratch, which was not easy, but very rewarding, and to do learning disability nursing. If it was so difficult, I won't be coming back for more studies. So it is challenging and it requires some skills, time management skills and doing your assignments, but there's a lot of support from the lecturers, the library teams and your personal academic tutors that will be assigned to you. So even if you have learning needs as you're trying to study, there is also support tailored to help people who have learning needs to feel supported. They have different ways of delivering the classes. They do online, they do face-to-face, and they have different ways of testing as well. So there is always something for someone. You will have placements as well, and there's lots of support when you go into placement areas. No one's going to make you do something you're not comfortable with, not until you're ready. So as long as you keep communicating and seeking help, asking questions, there's no reason why you won't end up being a learning disability nurse like me. When you're studying, it's possible to earn money as you learn, because of the fact that you could also register to be on the bank in the area where you work. The universities offer that opportunity as well for people to register with the different organizations that they may have placements with and work on the bank. Sometimes people don't come into learning disability nursing because they're worried that they'll be stuck as learning disability nurses, but that's not true. They can work in any other settings within healthcare that they desire to. Sometimes, like in my case, you might need to do an extra training in order to be able to function within those roles. So for example, as a health visitor, I had to do extra training. And the reason I'm going back to do my master's is just to be more grounded in an area that is that I'm very particular about. I'm actually doing my master's within bereavement and supporting families when they have small children, but they have bereavement. As a learning disability nurse, you're more trained at observing nonverbal communication, eye movements, facial movements, and expressions. And this can be quite key, especially when working with children who sometimes don't have verbal communication, so it just ties in as well. And when they have additional needs and they are children, you're able to support their families and help them to see that their children, even within small interactions, are actually communicating. And that can be very enlightening and rewarding for parents, you know, especially when they're dealing with the grief of not having the child that they hoped for. You can give them that hope as well. And as a learning disability nurse, you have the skills in your toolbox. And when you lose your child that you love, it just feels so hopeless. But being a nurse, a learning disability nurse and a public health nurse helping families, it makes it all rewarding. It gives me the opportunity to give them some of what I didn't have as well. Sometimes all parents need is just someone who would listen to them. And I'm able to do that, and it's the most rewarding experience, and I'm very grateful, for the opportunity to support them. In one sentence, what I would say is go for it. Don't overthink it. It's the most rewarding thing you could do.